On this episode of the Carolina Sports Guy, I want to talk about some Carolina Panthers situations, folks. We're going to talk about the Rock Hill situation. Just my own little thoughts. I'm not getting into great detail. Just kind of want to put my spin on this. Before we get into today's video, make sure you subscribe. It doesn't cost anything. Pound that like button, hit that bell notification to be notified of future videos on the Carolina Panthers. Hey, and folks, leave me some comments. Uncle Chucky loves a dialogue. All right, folks, I've really thought about addressing this Rock Hill situation at several different points in time. Everybody's got opinions on it. Now, I'm not a rich guy. Definitely, I'm a poor guy when I actually meant it. And a lot of people do not like NFL owners because they've got the money and the power. And the players definitely don't like that. And a lot of players have got money and they're set for life with these contracts. They work their butt off to get to where they are, and it's never easy. Now, fans are the ones who pay the price. Whether it's ticket to the game, souvenirs, jerseys, whatever it may be, our emotional involvement is big in this. Now, I will say this. York County signed this, and this was pre-COVID when they did. And I know a lot of people will say, well, David Tepper's got the money. Sure he does. But David Tepper's not a man to mince words, folks. Let's remember, when he signed on and bought the Panthers, he kind of lowballed Jerry Richardson a little bit. I don't think it was the highest offer, but it was probably the best offer, who was going to probably be the one who was going to definitely secure and be able to make sure things happen. I mean, let's face it. He did not like the idea of having a facility, an outdoor facility or practice in a ballroom, and he built that bubble next to Bank of America Stadium. Now, the Rock Hill site would have been a thing of beauty. It would have been gorgeous. I don't know what the next move is going to be. I definitely don't think it'll be in South Carolina now because of all this. It's not just York County or Rock Hill, wherever you want to call. State of South Carolina's got egg on their face with this now. And I don't think they're going to want to get back into bed with David Tepper anytime soon. And now we're finding out David Tepper's holding company is declared bankruptcy. And a lot of that has to do with not that he doesn't have the money. He's got the money. He could build a facility. It has more to do. There's a lot of people who have invested time and effort, and people who worked on this project, and they need to get paid even though this project's never going to be finished and it's going to be sitting there off the interstate in Rock Hill. There's still people that put effort and energy and money and time and work into trying to build this facility, and they have to get paid because contracts were signed. Now, who is to blame here? A lot of people want to blame David Tepper. And I'm not going to be pro-David Tepper on this, but I damn sure am not going to be pro-South Carolina government. You signed this situational agreement with David Tepper. You wanted it in your backyard. Now, I understand the COVID situation. I understand coming up with the money and the cost of things were more. But the only thing is Tepper did not pull the plug, it looks like, until the state of South Carolina or the county of York or the city of Rock Hill kind of drug their feet on some of the funding. And it's not like Tepper just yanked it right away. I think it came to a point in time, things were slowing down, and it looked like he was going to foot more the bill than what he said. He said he was going to pay what he was going to pay, and he expected the state of South Carolina and those local and county governments to do their part. And they didn't. Now, what does this mean for the history or the future of the Panthers? Who knows? I think we've learned with the city of Charlotte before that, yeah, I don't care how good your attendance is or what your situation is, you can lose a team, i.e. the original Charlotte Hornets going to New Orleans. Now, thank God we ended up getting the Bobcats again and renamed them the Hornets when the name came available. I'm hearing talk about how the city of Charlotte's talking about building a practice facility and upgrades for the Spectrum Center for the Hornets, which is good because the NBA was the first professional sport that we have right now in the state of North Carolina. So there is a little bit of heartfelt sentiment that something gets done. The stadium, Bank of America, cannot be there forever. There's been hundreds of millions of dollars, if not more, have been put into the stadium, and David Tepper's even put some of his own money up, along with the city of Charlotte and the state of North Carolina, in improving this and turning Bank of America into a multi-use stadium, i.e. a soccer facility, making sure that Charlotte FC could be accommodated, which took out some seats, about 1,000 seats or so for the Panthers, but it made a really nice facility for the soccer, and you got a football facility and concerts, and it can work well. And that's a lot of money to spend for something that's not going to be around forever. It's going to have to be replaced, whether it be a dome stadium or something new. It's just a matter of time, whether it be 10 years or 20 years, something has to give. David Tepper's looking for that. The city of Charlotte, state of North Carolina, Mecklenburg County, wherever the surrounding area, has to think about what David Tepper's intentions are. And he's going to want to be in bed with someone who's going to be willing to pay some of the price, which, in my opinion, you want to put it all on a billionaire owner. They don't have to. They can move, which I'd hate that. I don't want my Panthers going to San Antonio. I don't want them going to London or Mexico City or wherever. They need to stay where they are. We've proven to be a very good football market, NFL market, and this is where we need to be. We've seen St. Louis lose 2 teams in the past 30, 40 years. Don't want to be a team to lose our beloved Panthers. Above everything in the state, this is probably the most crucial team that we really have, and I want to hold on to. Now, saying that, you've got to look at Charlotte FC. They're supposed to have a training facility built in the city of Charlotte. Haven't really heard anything about much of that Eastland Mall project. What's going on with that? You have to really look at the future of the Panther Stadium and what we're going to do. Now, what do we do with this training camp facility? What's Tepper's plans going to be? Are we going to stay at Spartanburg at Wofford College for a couple more years, it looks like? Or what are we going to do? Keep practicing in this bubble that's outside of the Bank of America? Something has to be done. This team makes too much money. David Tepper's got too much money. And we talked about the research and development and the sports science and all that. And that was one reason why Matt Rule decided to come on. The involvement of having a world-class facility for our Carolina Panthers. Something has to be done. Now, like I said, I'm not blaming Tepper. Tepper's a businessman. When he decided to be owner of the Carolina Panthers, the first day he was at the podium when he was announced as the owner, first thing out of his mouth, he didn't say Major League Baseball, first thing out of his mouth, we're going to put an MLS team here. He went on that right away. Charlotte was way down on the list, and in a matter of months, he pushed them at the top of the list. He got the team here. The crowds definitely, you talked about 65, 70,000 people at a soccer game for Charlotte. They've at least averaged over 30 to 35,000 a game. They're like second in the league in attendance, at least third at the worst. But they're doing an incredible job. They've already got a pretty good following. So between the Panthers and the Charlotte FC, and you got the Hornets facility, Charlotte's got a lot to keep up with. Because we need to keep the Hornets active. We need to do something about a facility for Charlotte FC. And we got to do something about a training facility and a future stadium for both Charlotte FC and the Panthers. Okay? Major League Baseball is something that might be, I don't even want to jump into that yet, but it's something that if we ever find David Tepper or another owner or a combination that might look at expansion, if baseball happens, if the Oakland A's go to Vegas and Tampa Bay goes to Montreal or Orlando and Nashville gets a team in expansion, Charlotte could be battling Portland or another city for that second expansion team. Well, who's going to be the owner? Who's got the money? What kind of money is the state going to be able to divide up with the city if it goes to Charlotte, if not Raleigh? Probably Charlotte. Who's going to build that stadium? Who's going to pay for that? There's a lot to consider here. But you got to take care of the ones that are here first, whether it be the Hornets, the Panthers, Charlotte FC together. Got to be done. But I really wanted to just sit back and say, you can get mad at Tepper saying he's playing hardball, being a tight ass, but the state of South Carolina jumped in bed and then they drug their feet, in my opinion. And they, understand the money situation because of COVID probably wrecked them a little bit, probably messed them up. But like David Tepper said, I can't foot the bill. We signed this agreement. And that's what he's looking at. He's going to play by his money. That's how he's made his money. So it's going to be interesting to see what he does in the future with a training facility. And I'm definitely anxious to see what happens. So, folks, what do you think? Who do you think's to blame for this facility? Do you blame Tepper? Do you blame the state of South Carolina? What would you like to see done? I personally would love to see it in the border of North and South Carolina. But wouldn't bother me if you got some land outside of North Carolina, outside of Charlotte, that would work. Leave me some comments. I love the dialogue. Hit that like button. pound that bell for notification. And by all means, folks, subscribe. It doesn't cost anything. It's free of charge. Help Uncle Chucky out. And we'll see you next time on another episode of Carolina Sports Guy.